Okay, how you doing, people? Rocks Original back again. So I had a load of slabs. Well, I've got a load of slabs. Lovely willow, chestnut, lovely sycamore ones. We've even got some bog oak up the top. Some bog oak at the top, and but they're not long enough for what I needed. So we had to go to the sawmill and source these two monkey punk slabs. One was just over 7'2", we got it cut down to, and the other one, which is this shelf, which I'm about to put up, was I think it was 7.4. You can see we just got it cut down while we was there, saved me having to do it, and yeah, mostly the bark's off it, so not a lot of work to do on that. So this is the shelf back at my little hut. And I'm going to work on the divider first. Divider is more like a bedroom island that's going in a bedroom. So the shelf and the divider will be matching. I'm going to do some scorch marks on it. Scorch marks on the side with a blowtorch. And I'm going to bring some of the grain out because it's quite it's got some funny character in this. And I think the scorch marks alongside this big grey streak that's in it is going to bring it to life. As you can see, the grey streak down the side on the right hand side is a funky look, and I think once I've smoothed the front two noggles, this will have a more symmetrical look. Right, so I've got one side done. Just got to go over it now with the orbital sander. Yeah, thinking about it now, looking at these two noggles, one on this side you can see here and then one on the other side, I think I'm going to cut them down and then reshape them because they're just too big. They don't go with the slab, with the other noggles, so it's out of proportion. So I think that is the best way to go. Right, so I just bloody realised that the camera went off when I moved it back. So what I've done, so basically what you missed, just finished that off. So that's what it looks like now. So that's what that looks like. Just got to do the other one. I just rounded over the edges with the sander. Gone all the way along, gone right up to the end, done that edge. So yeah, that's what I've done so far. I'm going to switch it around now, do the other side, and then sand the top. Didn't realise how big this bit actually was. I hadn't really looked at it properly. see now how symmetrical the slab is, and that will go lovely. I'll show you now exactly where it's going to go. As you can see here in the bedroom, that's where that's going to go. And then on the window, that's where that shelf's going to go. So yeah. Right, so back to this. Let's get cracking and mix up some epoxy. So I think the best thing to do now is tomorrow I will cut the shelf, sand it, give that its first coat, and at the same time give this its second coat. And then next day when that one cures, then I'll just keep rotating them. And then once I've got them both to where I need them to be, then I can sand them and then polish the pair of them together. It's a bit of a long old week ahead, but I want to try and get these knocked out as quick as possible. But yeah, man, these come up lovely. But hopefully I can work my magic and get it to this sort of level, hopefully. I've just brought some of that grain out as well with the blowtorch. Didn't go like dark, but I just highlighted it because it was just a bit light. Around the knots you can see it's more darker, more pronounced. I think I got that just right. Right, so this made the first cut on the shelf. I got that one right. That wasn't hard. I started here with a saw, but it's looking a bit difficult now when I've got to come in here and over this little noggle. So I'm debating now whether to use a jigsaw . That is nearly bang on, mate. Right, so basically I'm just going to sand this now, get this nice and flat and nice even coverage. I'm going to start at a 40 grit, then at 80, and then I'm going to go up to a 120 where I'm going to leave it there. Won't need to do no more than that. As long as there's no swell marks or nothing, 120 will be plenty enough to bring out that grain to accept the epoxy finish. Always remember, never go past a 600 grit if you're going to pour epoxy onto the top of the slab. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, if you've got fine figuring in a wood, then obviously go up to about 400. but most people go up to 180, but I just 120 is plenty enough. As long as you sand it properly and keep that sander flat, you'll be okay. There is snipe marks on this, so I'm going to have to pay a little bit more attention to the snipe marks, which you can see there, just going around them, getting them nice and, well, just getting them removed basically. And you can see now I've got the smaller sander concentrating on the sides, and then I will just round them edges off on the front so it's all nice and smooth, and then I will pour the epoxy. So yeah, let's get cracking now and get the blowtorch and start putting on the burn marks, because this slab was a bit plainer than the other slab. That other slab all had that funky grain, didn't it? With the big grey streak down it. This had a tiny little bit of grey, but not as much. But yeah, I'm going to sand this after. But spoiler alert, I do put more burn marks in it, because when I start to pour the epoxy on it, I realise it is not really enough. So I do go back over it later and put some more burn marks in it, which you're going to see any minute now. First go. You already see, look at that, man. Brings it alive.
That's going to match properly, you know. Might have to put a bit more dark in there. Shit.
so back again. Right, it's been about 3.5 days now. It's just about ready now to sand. I could try and polish it from here, but I think it's going to need one more decent coat on it, like a nice big thick floor. I'm not going to bother film it, no point, because you've seen me do the stages, so I'm just going to repeat that process. It's just this saves me a lot more time having to set everything back up, and it also makes the video shorter. So I'm going to forward now to the part where they've both had the epoxy. They're both going to be sanded and both going to be polished, and then we'll go to the install of where they are in the bedroom. Right, so we're at the last stage now. It's going on. I'm going to do 2 more passes on with the 1000 grit. Then I'm going to move it up to the 2000 grit. Well, I'll do another 4 passes. I'm doing I'm doing it in this section at a time. So I'm doing half a slab and then work the other half a slab. Because going back and forwards, 7.5 foot, is taking its toll on my back. Because I've got arthritis in my back and in my hands as well. So I have to take it quiet, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So I've got to take it easy. But yeah, we're getting there. Once this is done, I can then polish it up and then start on the other one. So basically what I've just done, what you see me do, I'm going to do on the other side, finish it off with the 2000, and then it will be time to polish. So this is what it looks like now. This is at 2000 grit. So this is how you want to get it looking at 2000. Right, so I've just done some off-camera sanding. I'm up to 400 grit now on this. That's the sides. You can see the difference. This one, hopefully I'll have this done by the end of the day and polished back up. Yeah, so fingers crossed. Okay, so the day is finally here. It's now at 2000 grit, and it is ready to polish. I'm going to use my big dog on this one, the old DeWalt, and I'm going to be using a fast cut plus extreme. So it just cuts it, but it's also like a polish. I will use a bit of polish after this, but this alone is just as good. It's just enough to get that sheen that you want. But I will use some Maguire's polish, which is over there somewhere. So right, let's crack on. Okay, so I've wiped that down with alcohol, and I've wiped it over with the microfiber cloth. I'll put a nice little bit of 3M on it. enough. We'll start off on a low speed. I'm just going to work it in and then gradually increase the speed. Just rub it in. Going straight in with a wall pad. This will be fine. No need to use a sponge on it. Start off on 600. Up and down. Side to side. Just repeat the process. So I've just polished it for about 3 to 5 minutes roughly with the Maguire's polish. This is how it's come out. Obviously, I thought it was filming, and when I put it in the bracket that it goes in, sometimes it touches the side buttons, and that's what happened here. But yeah, this is the finished article. So yeah, I'm well pleased. It's come out lovely. The burn marks, it really accentuates the character that's in this slab, and I think we got well lucky with with that nice grey streak along the side of it, and the other little bits with the little noggles as well that come out so nice. So I didn't bother film the polishing part on this one. I didn't think there was no need, as you already seen me do it on this one. So yeah, I'm going to forward now and go to the install and what they ended up like in the bedroom.